So this is the group cruise, or the space I have available for the 11-day Wild British Isles, Ireland inclusive mohair on Holland America's Zuiderdam. That's June 22nd to July 3rd, 2027, and it's going to be round trip out of Amsterdam. So about me, again, I am a travel agent. I specialize in vacations for those who need mobility assistance, are immunocompromised or taking virus-conscious precautions, have allergies, or have a chronic illness. I also have mobility limitations and multiple chronic illnesses. So the first thing I want to say is that there are only 7 accessible cabins left. The cruise is almost sold out. So if you need an accessible cabin, I highly recommend that you book now. So I can't hold specific accessible cabins. So basically when I get the group skip rate space, I basically get a cabin type, like balcony, inside, ocean view, and then I don't get I can't reserve an accessible, like the specific cabin, so I can't reserve a specific accessible cabin unless I have a name and a deposit. Again, there are only 7 available on the whole ship, and I will go over what those are later in the presentation. Another reason is because flights to Amsterdam will be released soon. I'm not sure what prices will be like next year. I find that it's best to get them as soon as they are available, especially in this sort of environment with the war going on and things like that. So they should be released by the end of this month, I would think. And also, another thing is once the rest of the accessible cabin spaces are sold out, I'm closing the group. Unfortunately, it's not very accessible if there is no accessible cabins available. And so, yeah, I'll be closing the group. And then the thing going on is if you book this week, you can get up to $75 onboard credit per stateroom, or $100 per suite. So that's going to be in addition to the $75 that you're already going to get just for booking in the group. So specifically, interior staterooms, if you book an interior stateroom, you'll get $35 onboard credit, ocean view, $50 onboard credit, balcony, $75 onboard credit, and then suite, $100 onboard credit. And this promotion ends July 25th. So this is our itinerary. Again, it's 11 days, so I'm going to go ahead and just go through each stop at the itinerary and talk about interesting places in the itinerary. So first is going to be Amsterdam. We're leaving from there. It departs at 4 p.m. I recommend you arrive at least a day early. I'm probably going to arrive a couple days early just because my chronic illness really flares when it comes to time zone changes. I'm considering getting a hotel room block if there's enough people that sign up. So what that basically is this, it's a set rate for a hotel, so we could all be in the same hotel. Then June 23rd is a sea day. June 24th is Stornoway, Isle of Lewis, Scotland. So things to do there. Touring Lewis Castle to see the Viking era Lewis chessmen, driving to the 5,000-year-old Callan standing stones, and shopping for authentic Harris tweed. That's going to be there we're going to be there from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. June 25th is Belfast, so things to do, Game of Thrones tour, Titanic Quarter, St. George's Market. We're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. June 26th, we're going to be in Dublin. It is a tender port, so what that means is that we're not able to go to the actual, dock. We're going to have to go from our ship to a smaller ship. These are usually like lifeboats to be able to get on land. Sorry. The good thing about these is that this ship in particular is that it does have a tender lift system. So you are able to get off if you have a wheelchair, but it's only for certain wheelchairs. There's specific limitations, so we'll have to talk with the accessibility department and make sure that your wheelchair will work with their lift system. So some things to do is the St. Patrick's Cathedral, Trinity College, and the Book of Kells. I'm interested in that one personally. Temple Bar in Grattan Street, and the Guinness Experience. So that's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. June 27th is the Greenock, Glasgow. So things to do: Stirling Castle. I'm not going to say that word. Distillery and Loch Lomond Shores, Kellengrove Art Gallery and Museum, Glasgow Cathedral. 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. is when we're docked. This is another tender required port. This is Greencastle and Londonderry. So there's going to be a short excursion to visit sheepdogs that I'm really interested in, and I'd love to make that as sort of like an accessible private thing if possible. Talk more about excursions later. Museum of Free Dairy, Peace Bridge, Giant's Causeway. And then we're going to Killybegs. Tenders required. I couldn't find anything interesting. I'm going to be honest there. But I'll probably use that as like a rest day, just because it's so port intensive. And then we're going to go to Galway. And so for the first half, we're going to be docked in Galway. Well, not docked. It's a tender required. And that's from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can do Corrib River Cruise, Latin Quarter, Spanish Arch, and Galway City Museum. And then you can go to the Cliffs of Moher by land, although I don't know if you'll have time. It depends. And then afterwards, the ship itself is going to depart and then go by the Cliffs of Moher, and so you can see the cliffs from the ship, which is a great accessible opportunity. July 1st, we're going to be in Cobb or Cork, Ireland. Titanic experience, if you're interested in Titanic. Blarney Castle, that's the one where you go up and like kiss a stone. It's not very accessible, but you can enjoy the grounds with a wheelchair. And then Spike Island, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. at sea. And then on July 3rd, we're going back to Amsterdam, and we're ending at Amsterdam, and it arrives at 7 a.m. So now I want to talk about the ship. So this is Zuiderdam, launched in 2002, 11 decks, 1,916 passenger capacity with 182 crew. Seems like a big number, but that's actually your small to medium-sized cruise ships compared to other cruise ships in cruising right now. Honestly, they can get up to like 4,000, 5,000 passengers. So... casual eatery. So these are things that are going to be included. Lido's Market. It has outdoor seating available, 24-hour room service, which is included. Unlike other cruise lines that you have to pay a delivery fee. You don't have to pay a delivery fee for Holland America, which is really nice. Dive In, which is an outdoor eatery with like burgers and fries and hot dogs and things like that. And then Crow's Nest Cafe, which is a la carte. And then formal dining options. We have the dining room, of course, Canaletto, which is an extra charge Italian, Pinnacle Grill, which is an extra charge steak house, and then Morimoto, which I believe is an extra charge Japanese cuisine. Onboard activities. So there's multiple stages for show performances and live bands. They usually constantly have some sort of live band playing, like a rock band or things like that. There's art workshops and cultural talks. There are 2 pools, and then there's a hydrotherapy pool within the spa area, and then there's multiple hot tubs, and then there's daily games and activities, your regular cruise fare. I like this ship because it has a polar bear statue for some reason on the pool deck, and I find that funny. So general ship accessibility. There are wheelchair accessible shore excursions on select ports. You will need to notify the accessibility department that you want accessible shore excursions, and I could do that for you. Just let me know. All decks have elevators except the sports deck, and from my understanding, the only thing on the sports deck is going to be your pickleball court and your basketball, tennis courts, things like that. So all venues are wheelchair accessible. They have a downloadable Holland America Limited Mobility Daily Activities, News, and Menus. I guess just download it to your phone. You also have amplified phones for your stateroom, a tender lift system, which I talked about earlier, wheelchair accessible public bathrooms, and then large print, braille, and closed captioning for your TV. It depends on where the ship is located in the sea, if closed captioning is available, but if it's available, they will have it. What's included? $75 onboard credit per cabin. More if you book this week by July 25th, including dining and entertainment, such as room service. I am planning an onboard group meet and greet with hors d'oeuvres. I would like it to be the first day, but I haven't spoken yet with Holland America, but I would like it to be the first day. There's going to be some free swag leading up to the cruise. I'll send it through mail. And then I'd like to have multiple online get-to-know-you events leading up to the cruise, just so we can all get to know each other better, and we don't feel like we're not really a group, but just kind of isolated. I specifically provide help with planning, not just for the cruise, but off the cruise too. If you want to stay longer in Amsterdam, or if you have other planning needs, I can help with that. I can also help with reminders and then advice. So optional add-ons. So this is what's not included in the cruise, but what I can book for you. So we have transportation before and after the cruise, insurance. I will send you a quote. I prefer Alliance, but if you have a preferred travel insurance provider, I'm happy to give you a quote from them too. Visa expenses. I know the UK now requires a online visa sort of I forget what they call it. But I will give you instructions on how to apply for that. I think it's less than $50. I don't think it's that expensive. Spa services, drink packages, Wi-Fi, excursions. I plan on having 1 or 2 private wheelchair accessible excursion options if enough people sign up. Specialty dining. And then hotel. And like I said, I'm going to try to reserve hotel space if enough people sign up. Air, and then rental accessibility equipment. If there's any sort of equipment that you think you may need, even if you're not sure, let me know. Oftentimes they are available, especially on closed group cruises like this. There's also Have It All package. Have It All is Holland America Lines, like all-included sort of fare. That's going to include shore excursions, beverage package, specialty dining, and Wi-Fi. And I can quote that for you when you decide to sign up for the group cruise. Why you should go with a group. I am right there with you. You don't have to call me. You can just knock on my cabin door. I can help you should any accessibility or any sort of travel issues arise. I'm your travel agent. I'll be on there with you. You don't have to worry about calling me when I'm asleep. Travel from one city to another via car or rail can be long and draining, making it impossible to pace. Wheelchair accessibility is also not certain, thanks to Ireland's older architecture. With a cruise, the bed comes with you, and wheelchair accessibility is more easily managed. As long as accessible staterooms are available, which again, there's only 7 left. Be welcomed. You're welcome to be in a judge-free zone with people who understand your needs. Share meals, explore ports together, and create lasting friendships, or travel at your own pace. This group is very flexible. I want to have at least 1 or 2 private excursions together, an onboard meet and greet, and also I'd like to have a group chat to help coordinate activities for those who'd like to do more together. But you can join all of our adventures or none of them. It's really up to you. Like, I'm fine with whatever. I'm an introvert personally, so I don't mind if you're also an introvert. And, yeah. Speaking of which, I will note that I will likely be eating in my stateroom for most meals. I'm COVID conscious. I wear a mask in most indoor settings. So I'm immunocompromised. I have long COVID. So I will probably be eating away from the group if anyone is comfortable eating inside. So who is going? Age range from 30 to over 90. My husband will probably be the youngest. He's like 9 months younger than me. So yeah, it's a huge age range. There are 3 cabins sold so far, including mine. And so just to go over my personal travel style, I'm laid back, quiet, go with the flow. I enjoy activities on history, trivia, and even the bingo. I like watching shows and listening to live music. You can usually find me on my balcony reading a good book on land. I'm excited to see the castles, Irish countryside, Trinity College. One of my favorite shows, Foundation, it was filmed there in season 1, and it was really cool looking, and I'd love to visit, and then also do a sheepdog tour, because that sounds fun. Okay, staterooms. Only 7 left. Once they're gone, the group is closed. So, well, only 7 accessible staterooms left. I do have non-accessible staterooms available. I have balconies, mostly, and ocean view and inside, if you're interested. But this is for accessible staterooms. We have 2 fully accessible inside staterooms. And I'll go over what these stateroom types are later in the next slide. Ocean view, 2 ambulatory, and 3 modified accessible. Neptune suite. There's one fully accessible stateroom, but it's on a wait list. We'll talk about that in a second. There's balcony cabins also available, but they're not accessible, and prices do not include port charges and taxes, and are subject to change. Neptune suite. So it is waitlisted, which basically means that you have to give them a fully refundable $600 deposit, and that's besides my $45 booking fee. Basically, it's no guarantee that you will get it. In the event that you do get it, you will have to approve of the pricing that they give you first. So if you get it and you don't like the price, you can still back out. And then if you don't get it, you can also back out, and then that $600 deposit will come right back to you. So you won't be spending any extra money It has a bathtub, a roll-in shower. There's a ramp to the balcony, which is nice. Wide pathways, wide entry, accessible toilet. The toilet's bigger than the average toilet, as you can see in the pictures. You also get things like a private lounge, concierge, early check-in, just for being on in a suite. You also get complimentary laundry service, which is nice. So Ocean View Modified. Modified basically means that there is enough wheelchair space in between the beds, but only on one side. So if you look at the first picture, there's enough space in between the two beds, but you can't go on the other side. And also, it's not wheelchair accessible if it's a queen bed. So if they put the two together. Other than that, all of the accessibility options are the same as a fully accessible room. These are the prices, $2,590, $2,620. They're on the 10th floor and the 11th. Yeah, there are 3 left for those. Ocean View Ambulatory Accessible. Basically, these are for people who are part-time wheelchair users like me. There's bars, shower benches, lower closet rod, coat hooks, but there's also a standard narrow entry into the bathroom, and I also believe a standard narrow entry into the cabin itself. It's ideal for those who can stand enough to be able to get into the bathroom and into the shower. It does have a shower chair. So the middle picture is a very old picture. I believe it has been updated since then. So I don't think it's going to look that outdated, and I really hope they don't have that orange curtain anymore. Looks a little Interior, there are fully accessible left. It's $2,220 plus $45 fee per person. They have, again, bathtub, roll-in shower, 60-degree turn radius, wide pathways and entrance, accessible toilet and sink height. Deadlines. So the deposit and $45 booking fee non-refundable is due at time of booking. Any other deposits or fees for add-ons is due at the time of booking. If you want to book it when you book the cruise, that's fine. Or also you can just do it whenever at a later date. That's fine too. The final payment date is March 17th, 2027. And like I said, the group cruise will likely close as soon as the 7 cabins run out. I'm likely going to be checking every week to make sure that there's still some available. I'm sure the call center will love me for that. But yeah, I just want to make sure accessibility options are available for people who need it. Thank you. That was my presentation. This is my contact information, and then if you are interested and you're ready to book now, you can go to accessibleescapes.org/book online or the QR code and scroll down, and then it's going to have like a Holland America. It's going to show the Holland American group cruise, and you can go from there. It does ask for a time for a 30-minute video call. I just kind of like to do video calls with each of my clients just to kind of get to know them better. However, since it's kind of a time restraint, if you know the cabin you want and you know exactly what you want, you can write that down in the comment section and I will go ahead and give you that contract and give you that information so we can book it as soon as possible.